President Barry Jagdeo departs for an official visit to Washington, D.C. to participate in several meetings that focus on climate change and financial issues.
And the president expresses surprise at statements made by Bahamian Prime Minister that questioned CLICO Guyana's investments in that subsidiary.
And the Berbice River Bridge will be forced to close for 4 days to facilitate design correction works.
And of course, we will bring you the latest sporting action in the Diamond Mineral Water and NCN Sport News. Good evening, I'm Delicia Fletcher.
And I'm Paul Moore.
With this edition of the 6 o'clock news for today, Tuesday, March 3, 2009. Here's what's happening. Paul.
Thanks, Delicia. President Barry Jagdeo has departed for an official visit to Washington, D.C. While there, Mr. Jagdeo is expected to be a part of several meetings that focus on climate change and financial issues. The head of state will also be opening a special climate change conference organized by the World Wildlife Fund, Harvard, and Duke universities on Friday. Meantime, President Barry Jagdeo, just before leaving, expressed surprise at Bahamas Prime Minister Hubert Ingram's statements which questioned CLICO Guyana's investments in that subsidiary. The head of state says the company has records to prove its claims. More in this report.
Minister of the Bahamas, Hubert Ingraham, has stated that there appears to be no records available to show that CLICO Guyana had invested 53% of its assets in CLICO Bahamas. He notes that it is now up to the liquidator to determine Guyana's claims. However, President Barry Jagdeo points out that the company has hard copy contracts, evidence of accounts and audits to prove that it had indeed made such investments.
I am surprised that they would say that there appears to be no record at this time, because Guyana had already submitted its claim, had a surrender policy. We had already surrendered our policy to CLICO Bahamas and asked for our money. So clearly that is in the system, and the liquidator or the regulator should know that.
The head of state says that government will take necessary action if the evidence proves otherwise.
I don't want to seem as though I'm acting on behalf of the company. This is information that the company gave us, which we're taking at face value at this point in time. If that changes, if we verify that the information that we were given all along, this information is not accurate, then we plan to take serious action against the management and the directors.
President Jagdeo believes that Caribbean regulators and central bank governors have to meet on this situation so that leaders can take informed action to safeguard their country's financial operations. CLICO's operations first came into focus when problems surfaced in Trinidad and Tobago. President Jagdeo says he had alerted Prime Minister Ingraham that actions taken by the TNT government would have ripple effects on operations in other countries and pressed for an urgent meeting on the issue. However, he says he did not receive any further feedback.
I'm very, very disappointed that the regulators don't speak enough. They seem to be locked away in this insularity. And I'm very disappointed that in this case, the Bahamas, which is a global financial center, would not seek to contact all of its clients and to get done. They knew that we had surrendered this, our claims there. I've spoken about our exposure to Bahamas on many occasions. They could not know, yet they choose to operate in isolation or insularity.
Mr. Jagdeo has disclosed that government will be taking further action to protect Guyana's financial system within the upcoming period. Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh is also expected to issue a full statement on government's financial strategies thus far during the next sitting of the National Assembly. Reporting for the 6 o'clock news, I'm Shardul Lal.
Anika Jones now tells us that government is reassuring pensioners and CLICO policyholders that their funds are protected amidst the recent development with CLICO Guyana. Let's take a look.
Government took the step to protect policyholders following an order for CLICO Bahamas Limited, the holder of 53% of CLICO Guyana's holdings, to liquidate. The head of state reassured media operatives that the commitment to pensioners will be met.
What I want to urge them to do is to allow us, since we've just gone into the company, to get maybe take a week or so, get a week or 2 weeks to determine the claims, the class of assets, what is, our short-term liabilities are, what our long-term liabilities are. But we looked at the total situation, looked at the total exposure, and we have extended that government guarantee. So I don't see why there is this big issue about NIS funds too, when we have said that NIS funds are safe.
The president says further actions will be taken over time. He added that all claims including medical, vehicular and fire will also be dealt with.
We are going to meet the claims if someone were to seek medical now, or had a fire, or had a vehicular accident, and they have their premiums up to date, then the claim would be processed.
In the meantime, Mr. Jagdeo says those policyholders who would have received checks will have them cleared after a verification process. This will be done within a matter of days. Onika Jones, the 6 o'clock news.
The Guyana Police Force says it has been informed that Portuguese customs officials at Lisbon Airport seized over 16 kilograms of cocaine concealed inside liquid eyeliner containers placed in the checked baggage of a 42-year-old Guyanese female. She was traveling from Brazil to Guinea-Bissau in West Africa on February 11. And on the following day, Brazilian authorities at an airport in Sao Paulo arrested a 26-year-old Guyanese female traveling to Nigeria. Her checked baggage was found to contain 4 kilograms of cocaine, which was also concealed in liquid eyeliner containers. The Berbice River Bridge will be forced to close for 4 days to facilitate design correction works. This was confirmed by the Minister of Transport and Hydraulics, Robeson Ben, in an invited comment with NCN's Nicole Telford.
The Berbice River Bridge was forced to open for an extended period yesterday, leaving hundreds of passengers traveling to and from New Amsterdam stranded during the peak hours. Operators say it was due to be closed at 8:30 hours, but instead was closed 5 minutes before 10 hours. This newscast was told by several Berbicians that this has been happening for about 2 weeks.
This is ridiculous, because I don't think you have to wait so long when you have a bridge here. We've been waiting and waiting, and I'm tired waiting.
Been in my vehicle since 8:35, right? I have to be at court for 9 o'clock and I'm here with my baby. It's really frustrating.
Cabinet held an outreach program in Berbice on the said day, but a few members and other officials were late after waiting for about 2 hours at the bridge.
We were scheduled to be part of the community meetings with the president and cabinet members. But I made some inquiries just now, and I was made to understand that 2 vessels apparently drifted away last evening and apparently hit the bridge at some point.
Today, Minister of Transport and Hydraulics Robeson Ben said in an invited comment that the bridge will be closed for 4 days at the end of April to facilitate a design correction which entails replacing the retractor span. Minister Ben, while explaining that the hydraulic mechanism is retracting slowly, said the bridge is operational and will continue until the end of April. The minister said should there be major interruptions, the ferry service will kick in. The $40 million Berbice River Bridge was opened to the public last December. Nicole Telford, NCN 6 o'clock news.